Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get genuinely well-informed, taking complex stuff, unpacking it, and really pulling out the insights that matter.
Yeah, shortcuts to understanding, basically.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into a really foundational Buddhist text, the Threefold Lotus Sutra.
It's a big one. Or, well, three big ones, really.
Right. We've got a stack of sources, deep, insightful stuff about this ancient scripture. And our mission, as always, is to filter it down for you. Find those surprising facts, those universal truths that might just shift how you see things.
That's the plan. And like you hinted, the Threefold Lotus Sutra, it isn't, a single volume. It's actually a trilogy. 3 distinct texts, but they're deeply interconnected. Understanding how they fit together, that relationship, well, that's absolutely key to getting the full picture, the full significance.
Okay, let's unpack this journey then. So maybe the best place to start to really get a handle on these sutras is to understand a pretty common structure you see in Buddhist scriptures. They often have these 3 main parts.
Right. It's like a blueprint, almost a narrative arc, designed to guide you through the teaching.
So what are these parts?
Well, typically you've got an introductory section, then the main body, and finally an applicational section.
Okay.
The introduction, it sets the scene. It tells you the who, what, where, when, why, the context. It's like the key that unlocks the main message.
And the main section, I guess that's the core, where the big ideas are.
Exactly. That's the primary discourse, where the most important concepts get explained in detail. Then you have the applicational part.
Right.
And that bit focuses more on the practical side, the benefits, the merits of actually understanding the teaching, having faith in it, putting it into practice.
This is encouragement.
Yeah, it encourages you to embrace it, share it, and often it promises protection for people who really commit to living the teachings.
Okay, so with that 3-part structure in mind, let's look at the first text in our trilogy, the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. This one's super important because it's essentially the preface to the main event, the Lotus Sutra itself. Our sources really stress that you can't separate them.
No, they're considered inseparable. They even share the same setting, Divine Eagle Peak, or Mount Gritrakuta.
And why is it so crucial to read this one first? What does it actually do?
Well, it clarifies the Lotus Sutra's unique place. Among all of Shakyamuni Buddha's teachings over his lifetime, this preface shows why the Lotus Sutra is, well, the culmination, its true significance. It's often called the opening sutra for a reason.
Okay, now here's something that really jumped out at me. There's this moment where Shakyamuni says something pretty startling. After teaching for over 40 years, sharing the Dharma, the universal truths he tells everyone, he hasn't actually fully revealed the truth yet.
Yeah, that sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it needs context.
Right. What does that mean? Were the earlier teachings wrong?
No, not at all. It's vital to understand that. He wasn't saying his previous teachings were false. They were absolutely true, incredibly helpful, but they were incomplete.
Incomplete how?
He essentially held back the deepest, most complete understanding because, well, people weren't ready. Their faith, their capacity for understanding, it just hadn't matured enough yet to grasp the whole picture, the, unvarnished truth.
So it's like laying groundwork first.
Exactly, like a teacher guiding students. You start with the basics before you hit them with the really advanced stuff. It shows incredible wisdom and, frankly, compassion, knowing when the audience is ready.
That makes sense. And then comes this great promise. He says, I will now explain everything in full detail.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, right after that, he launches into the Lotus Sutra. So without reading Innumerable Meanings first,
you lose that whole setup, the context, the reason why the Lotus Sutra is being taught now, it gets lost.
Got it.
And the title itself is fascinating too, Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. It means a teaching that possesses a countless number of meanings.
Okay.
And Shakyamuni explains these countless meanings all arise from just one truth.
One truth? Many meanings. How does that work?
Think of it like pure white light. Indivisible, no real attributes on its own, but pass it through a prism.
And you get the whole spectrum of colors.
Exactly. That one truth is the pure light. The innumerable meanings are all the different colors, the ways it manifests. Now, this one truth is left a bit, maybe, ambiguous in this preface.
But it gets fleshed out later.
Yes, its full richness is really unpacked in the Lotus Sutra that follows. So ultimately, this opening sutra positions the Lotus Sutra as the essential teaching of Shakyamuni's entire life.
And interestingly, this preface itself follows that 3-part structure we talked about.
It does. It has its own intro part, the virtuous practices, a main section expounding the Dharma, and an applicational bit, 10 merits. It perfectly models what's coming.
Okay, so the stage is set. The prefaces prepared us for the full revelation. Now we get to the main event, the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wondrous Dharma. Or, just the Lotus Sutra.
The big one, yeah.
It's huge. 28 chapters. Covers so much ground. I saw chapter titles like Skillful Means, The Lifespan of the Eternal Tathagata. This sounds deep.
Oh, it is. And Tathagata, just quickly, that's another title for a Buddha. It means something like, one who has thus come, or thus gone, to enlightenment. It's profound in itself.
Right.
Now, to really get into the Lotus Sutra's depths, scholars have found it helpful to divide it. The most important division is into two halves.
Two halves, okay.
The first half, chapters 1 to 14, focuses on what's called the manifest dimension. The second half, the rest of the text, explores the original dimension.
Manifest and original dimensions.
Okay.
This sounds crucial. And it leads to this idea of manifest and original Buddhas.
Exactly. This is where it gets really interesting. This distinction is probably the core revelation.
So tell us about the manifest dimension first. The manifest Buddha.
Okay, so the manifest dimension presents the teaching of the manifest Buddha. This is the historical Shakyamuni we often think of. Born human, Prince Siddhartha, went through practices, achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, taught for decades, passed away at 80.
The historical figure.
Right. And his teachings in this first half, this manifest dimension, they come from his own experience of achieving that supreme perfect awakening. They teach us about the truth of existence, what it means to be human, how to live wisely, compassionately.
Wisdom for navigating this life.
Yes, precisely. Maintaining our humanity, relating to others, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that's the manifest Buddha, grounded in history. Yeah. What about the original dimension? You said that reveals something more universal. Timeless.
Exactly. The original dimension really pivots around chapter 16. It's called the lifespan of the eternal Tathagata. Here, Shakyamuni drops a bombshell. He says he didn't actually attain enlightenment for the first time under the Bodhi tree. He declares he's actually been present since the infinite past, constantly teaching, constantly guiding all living beings across the universe.
Whoa. Okay, so the original Buddha is different.
Very different. This original Buddha isn't a person in history. It is universal truth itself. It's the fundamental principle, the energy that animates everything. Stars, planets, people, animals, the fundamental dynamism of the entire universe.
So the historical Shakyamuni, the manifest Buddha.
He is an appearance, a manifestation in human form for our sake of this eternal, underlying, original Buddha.
Okay, my mind is bending a little. So not two separate Buddhas.
Not separate, no. Two aspects of the same ultimate reality. Think of radio waves, or TV signals, or your cell phone signal.
Okay.
The original Buddha is like the source broadcasting the signal, and the signal itself, unseen, everywhere, filling the space. You can't touch it directly.
Okay.
The manifest Buddha, the historical Shakyamuni, is like the voice you hear on the radio, or the image you see on the TV screen. The device, the receiver, makes the signal perceptible.
I see. So you need both.
Absolutely interdependent. Without the original signal, the broadcast, you get nothing on your device. No voice, no picture. If there were no original Buddha, the manifest Buddha wouldn't appear.
And without the manifest Buddha,
we wouldn't become aware of the original Buddha, that underlying reality. We need that tangible manifestation, that voice, that teacher, to point us towards the source signal. Like two sides of a coin.
That radio analogy really helps clarify it.
Yeah.
So, what does liberation mean in this bigger picture? It sounds different from just, escaping suffering.
It is much bigger. It's not like being saved from drowning. Exactly. Liberation here means making it possible for everything that exists, every person, every plant, every star, to manifest its own original vitality, its life force.
Unlocking potential.
Yes. Unlocking the fullest potential inherent in all things. That's the original Buddha's liberation of all living beings. It's this cosmic force enabling everything to constantly move towards realizing its full potential.
That's incredibly helpful.
It is. And this original Buddha is timeless, always present, manifesting wherever and however needed to guide beings. And its core nature, its heart, is just boundless compassion.
So understanding this really shifts things. It's not just about following a historical figure, but recognizing this deep, inherent, dynamic reality that includes us, that works through us.
You've got it. It reframes everything.
Okay, so we've gone from the historical Buddha to this concept of an eternal, universal, original Buddha. It's profound, maybe even a bit overwhelming. So the question becomes, how do we connect with this? How do we bring this cosmic understanding into our messy everyday lives?
And that's exactly where the third text comes in, the Sutra for Contemplating Universal Sage.
The final piece of the trilogy.
Right. It's a Shakyamuni taught this one after the main Lotus Sutra, and it connects directly to the very last chapter of the Lotus Sutra. Its purpose is intensely practical.
Practical how?
It teaches a specific method, a practice for really embodying the spirit of the Lotus Sutra, and that practice is called acknowledgement and remorse.
Acknowledgement and remorse?
Yeah.
Okay, connect that to daily life for us. Right. You read something like the Lotus Sutra, you feel inspired, maybe get this sense of courage, this glimpse of your own potential.
Right, that potential to become a Buddha yourself, that inherent vitality.
Yeah. But then, Monday morning hits. Or you snap at someone, or fall back into an old bad habit. You feel doubt, confusion, suffering.
Exactly. Life happens. Distress, suffering, those ingrained habits, the negativity, it all rolls in. And that newfound courage, that insight can feel like it just flounders.
It really can. It's easy to feel like, well, that was a nice idea, but look at me now. How do we bridge that gap between the insight and the reality?
And that is precisely what this practice of acknowledgement and remorse is for. It's the method for dispelling those clouds, the doubts, the negativity, the effects of harmful actions.
So it's not just feeling bad about stuff.
No, it's much more active and constructive than just guilt. It's about, first, honest self-reflection. Acknowledging when we've acted out of line with our own best intentions or caused harm, even unintentionally. Seeing those patterns clearly.
Okay.
Then, remorse isn't self-flagellation. It's that deep, sincere feeling of wishing you hadn't done it, understanding the impact. And this is key, using that feeling to fuel a genuine commitment to change, to not repeat it.
Like course correction.
Exactly like course correction. You realize you took a wrong turn, acknowledgement. You feel the regret and the desire to be back on track, remorse. And then you actively check the map, reroute, and commit to driving more carefully the change. This sutra gives you the how-to for that inner navigation.
So just like the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings was the essential opening.
The Sutra for Contemplating Universal Sage is the essential closing. It's inseparable from the Lotus Sutra, serving as its practical conclusion, and it ties up the entire Threefold Lotus Sutra. It brings it all home.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground. We started with the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings, setting the context, then dove into the huge revelations of the Lotus Sutra itself, the manifest Buddha we know from history, and this deeper, eternal, original Buddha, this universal truth.
That fundamental dynamism.
Right. And then we landed on the Sutra for Contemplating Universal Sage, giving us a concrete practice, acknowledgement, and remorse to actually integrate all this wisdom into our lives.
It really shows how each text illuminates the others. You get the preface, the core teaching, and the practical application. A complete framework.
It feels incredibly comprehensive.
It is. And understanding this whole trilogy, this interconnected web, it really allows you, empowers you to tune in, as we said. Tune into that universal truth, that signal.
And unlock your own potential.
Exactly. Unlock that latent vitality, that inherent potential that the original Buddha represents. Become who you truly are.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to maybe mull over. How do these ancient teachings, especially this idea of the original Buddha, this ever-present universal reality, how does that challenge or maybe expand your own understanding of what ultimate reality could be?
Yeah, it's a big question.
It is. And maybe think about what it might mean for you personally in your life right now to try and turn on that switch, as you put it, to consciously try and tune in to the signal of universal truth. What might that look like today?
Food for thought.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Threefold Lotus Sutra.